Welcome. I was going to say welcome back, and it feels like a fresh welcome. We are starting new because we are in a new energy. If you are returning, understand that the messages from here on will shift. The point of the previous messages was to gather a collective of people who couldn't find the way out of their humanness. Not the humanity, but the humanness. There was an energetic clog preventing you from receiving the fullness of your light. You have transcended it. If you are here receiving this message, you are part of this collective that has transcended your humanness. That's everything that goes with it. That is childhood trauma. That is money struggle. That is chronic illness, pain in the body. Small or unchangeable mindsets around relationships, stagnant energy in relationships with other humans. All of that has now been alchemized. If you are receiving this message, you are part of the collective that has transcended the heaviness of being human. We begin with a message of innocence. This was trying to come through before, and we won't speak on it too much because it just couldn't. It couldn't come through before. We had to clear the pipes. We had to remove the clogs. More specifically, we had to transmute those clogs. You are in an energy now where you understand everything you've been going through has been to prepare you to return to your innocence. You come from absolute unconditional love. You do. And you know that. Now is the time for you, not intentionally even, but a natural progression of the energy is showing us that now you can see everything you've been doing has been to uncondition yourself from being separated from unconditional love. The words that I'm feeling are coming through as a teacher, like a really beautiful mentor who's not chastising, but is like lovingly, like remember, do you remember? We talked about this, remember. Like it's such a loving, but like persistent, remember. But it's just such a joyful light. It's such a joyful energy that you are all here. That you have all gathered. That you have become aware of or that you have remembered who you are. You are innocent. You are optimistic. You are hopeful. You have this unconditionally loving nature that your human life up until now was trying or was showing you that you needed protection, you needed armor, you needed to be aware of people who want to take advantage of you and want to hurt you and want to take from you. In that conditioning, you learned to use your sensitivity and your extrasensory abilities to figure out what their intentions were, or to get a feel for their character, or their, like, you or we have been using our heightened sensitivities to try and foresee the intentions or actions of other people and how that might hurt us. We have transcended this energy, and you know that. You don't need protection anymore. Nothing can ever go wrong. Everything is always absolutely in divine timing. In previous messages, we had wanted to bring people with that maybe were not quite ready. There may be people in another collective, or maybe tagging on to this message, that still feel the need for protection and boundaries and energetic armor. But in all of those things, there is a thread that connects all of those things, and that thread is judgment. In feeling that you need to protect yourself, you inherently have to cast judgment on others, and that judgment is that they want to do you harm, that they want to hurt you in some kind of way. And you are compassionate underneath, and you know that that comes from them hurting. But none of that matters. You are in a vibration that requires no protection. If you have energetic routines or practices that you go through, casting a circle, lighting a candle, wearing black, protective runes, protective crystals, those things are still beautiful. They still hold value for you, and they still support your energetic wellness. But they're not necessary to protect you. You have transcended the need for protection. And, ooh, I just got chills in my left butt. You are being reminded of who you really are without all of those protective measures in place. You are innocent. You believe in the best. You see the best. You know the beauty of all of this. And you're one of the only ones. That's why this collective is so special, and why we've been gathered in this way. You are not like everybody else. You've been acting like everybody else. You've seen and heard, and you have this intelligence where you observe other people protecting themselves in one way or another, like making sure everything is locked. They've got cameras on stuff. They've got all of these security measures in place, and that's in a practical way. That's to protect their stuff. They also, and you and me, I'm talking like this doesn't apply to me. This is very profoundly attached to me and what I'm going through as one of the voices of this collective. So those protective measures were to, one, protect your stuff. I feel like that's part of the collective that is not coming with us in this next series of messages. Then there are those of us who have been wanting to protect our energy, not from other people, but almost protecting it from ourselves because we're so sensitive. And we don't want to get knocked off balance. We don't want to crawl into bed and stay there for 3 days. We have been healing. You've been through a healing cycle where that need to shelter and hide from the world to reclaim your energy was a temporary cycle. That isn't what you're going to be experiencing from here on out. That was one of the stages of a healing cycle where you had all of this beautiful sensitivity and innocence, but learned that you need to harden up, like you got to get tough. And it kind of creates like this callus over your energetic field, and you're not able to fully experience your life and your light. And you realized that, and then you started the softening of the callus, softening of the armor. Now you're in this space where you have all of this sensitivity and you didn't know what to do with it. So yes, when you were triggered by something, it took you down. When you were overstimulated, overheated, over socializing, over demanding of your energy, you would burn out because you had not ever learned to manage your sensitivity. You had only learned how to harden against your own sensitivity. So that cycle of healing was depressed, deep rest, where you feel maybe empty on the inside, hollow, completely disconnected from the truth of who you are, that unconditional love and light that you hardened yourself against. It's like you had to hide from it. It's like the complete opposite end of the spectrum. So you had to get to that place to remember your true nature. And in that place of deep rest, there was a call and a need, a very important need for you to accept your physical responses and your mental state of mind, to accept those and take care of them. So you needed to take a week off work or quit that job or leave that relationship. You needed to go through that initial cycle, but it was a healing phase. It was a healing cycle, and now you are safe. You are on the other side of it. I'm getting 6 of Swords energy, I'm getting the Star, and I'm getting the Sun. It is time for you to kind of, I'm seeing like shake off whatever kind of lingering stuff. It's like you have things like, you know, the thing in school where like someone like writes like nerd on a paper and like tapes it to your back, and like all day long you're walking around with like a note on your back, and like people are looking at you kind of funny and you're like, what is this going on here? But then like you feel it also, like you know it's there, and you're just like, I don't see anything. I must be crazy. I must be losing my mind. And then casually you have a friend that is like, whoa, hey, you got nerd on your back. This message right here is that friend in the hallway telling you, you've got nerd on your back. Take it off and get rid of it. That goes for all of your energetic baggage. That goes for all of the names you've been called, for the people that have made fun of you, the people that have made you feel dumb because you're not smart enough to know how to protect yourself, people that have called you too much because you are responding in a way that any kind of very sensitive person would. Letting go of all of those things to fully step into who you are, not who you're becoming. This is who you've always been, and you've been pretending to be someone that you're not. This is the call to, it's not a call, it's a confirmation that you are the person that you are the person that you originally came here to be. You can let go of the need to protect yourself. Let go of the need to be understood. Let go of the need to have the right answers, to say the right things. This is your time from here until the rest of your human life. This is your time to be unfiltered. What's the word? Raw, vulnerable. Imagine like a 5-year-old child, and they're so sweet. They don't know what they're saying. They always say the wrong thing. They're like, Mommy, that lady's so fat. They don't mean it in a mean way. They're not trying to make fun of, they're not body shaming. They're observing, and they don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, they don't think there's anything wrong with the shape of the body. They're just commenting. They don't know. So, like, here's what it feels like. You've been stuck not wanting to express anything because you're afraid to say the wrong thing. You have this childlike innocence where and sensitivity. So it's the combination of the innocence plus the sensitivity where you're picking up on energy from people all the time, and you might be a person who always says exactly the wrong thing. What else do we have? Whew. The sunglasses. Take off the sunglasses. As part of the armor, you had to, like, before you could put the armor on, you had to know what you were armoring yourself against. And this goes kind of hand in hand with, like, the judgment of the situation, of the person. Is this someone I need to protect myself from? Is this a situation where I need to be extra careful with my energy? Maybe I just don't talk here. In all of that is judgment. Not in a terrible way, in a mindful way. Where were we going? In order for you to be able to judge those things, because that is not your nature is open and loving no matter what comes at you. People will say things that are mean and intentionally hurtful, and like you don't even take it that way because that's not who you are. So in order to be like that, be like them, in order to be able to judge a situation in what we call in kind of spiritual or energy medicine, discernment comes with sunglasses. It comes with, like, you had to borrow the lens of the majority and wear it as sunglasses. So now instead of viewing all of creation as this beautiful, expansive, joyful, loving, blissful light, everything in life, beautiful, even the icky stuff, even the ugly stuff, triggers compassion. The most awful shadow aspects of humanity still trigger within you compassion. You can see the true beauty in everything, but not when you're wearing the glasses, not when you have the sunglasses on they're like decoder glasses, and you're borrowing the lens of humanity and being like the lens of the majority to look at each situation and each person and decide if you need to protect yourself from those things. Take off the sunglasses. Put on your rose-colored glasses or whatever. They're like pre-installed. You already have them. You automatically, like, it's just your nature to see the beauty in everything. You might be the person that is always finding silver linings or like the bright side, and other people don't maybe always want to hear that. So you kind of like don't. You're like, oof, they're deep in their muck. And I'm trying to be a friend, I'm trying to be with them, I'm trying to guide them, but they don't want to hear that. Shine your light anyway. Shine your light anyway. Share the bright side. Share the silver lining of their situation that you see. And understand that even if they can't hear it right now, that will be something to come into their awareness when they're ready to exit that situation. That was a pretty specific thing of the message. Return to innocence. If you can, release all expectations and judgments from every single interaction, not just the people in your life, but every interaction with the people in your life, every interaction, period. Release expectation and judgment. I feel like this is going into a new message here. So I think we're going to pause and start a new message. That message is going to be about how in alignment you are and everything coming to you, for you to see, and it happens instantly. So in every interaction, even if it's a person that typically does something that makes you kind of like roll your eyes and like groan, here we go with this person, take off that lens and open your heart back to where it normally is. 2, 3, 4, 5 on our clock. Open your heart back up. You are in perfect alignment to receive the benefit of what people are reflecting back to you. And every single interaction has a nugget of wisdom for you, has a tidbit of joy, has the potential for laughter, for creativity, for inspiration. But as long as you're wearing those goggles, those awful like Morpheus sunglasses, as long as you are wearing those, you cannot participate in the interaction in a way that gets you to that nugget of wisdom. So I think that's going to be our next message. Thank you so much for being here. Core of this message, return to your innocence. You are ready. We are all ready. We're all going together. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. If this resonated for you, I would love nothing more than for you to let me know your experience. I would love to get to know you. I would love for this to be interactive. In the meantime, I'm sending you lots of love. I'll see you in the next one.